and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They're in. They're here. ETM Hotel, Rennie Shawn. Welcome in peace. My name is Shawn. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. I am back with a quick bill regarding recent news that had came out. I am streaming from Facebook, my Facebook, Ko-fi Facebook, and the YouTube channel. Please like the show, share the show. We're going to get directly into it in just a second. I'm actually trying to get the link out right now. And let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what we got. We just ended the bill earlier. We're pretty much a class. We talked about viruses and dealing with all of that good stuff regarding viruses and how they act, respond, and how to measure them and all that stuff. It's heavy. It's heavy. It wasn't complicated, but it was a lot of information impacting that. We also had some quizzes and things of that nature that we actually got around to. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? We want to keep on keeping on. So right now, man, you know, go ahead, like the show, share the show. Let's get some people in here. Now, there is an article circulating around social media presently regarding a doctor who was infected with COVID-19 after receiving a vaccine. I don't know if anybody actually read the article or even analyzed any data regarding the vaccine trials that were published a few weeks ago that we actually addressed not only on our YouTube, but, you know, in other areas or several YouTube channels. So what we're going to do is kind of deal with this particular article and bring it some clarity just so people are not confused by a title. You have to remember these people that are writing these articles are not scientists. So they are not going to speak in a sense of, well, they're not going to title it the same way a scientist would actually title a video, an article. So what I don't want to do is drag this all the way out, but I am going to provide everybody with the information, and then we go on from there. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'm sure everybody has seen this article right here. All right, so everybody see that? Give me 1 second. One momento. Man, like that show, share that show, man. Share that show. If y'all not seen this article, it's a newsbreak.com article. So let's deal with it. All right. So it says ER nurse tests positive for COVID a week after getting vaccine. Okay. Now, a nurse in California tested positive for COVID-19 several days after receiving coronavirus. Matthew W., an ER nurse at 2 hospitals, posted a Facebook message about receiving the Pfizer vaccine on December 18th. According to KGTV San Diego, the 45-year-old nurse said his arm was sore for only a day but suffered no side effects. After working a shift in COVID-19 unit 6 days later, the nurse became sick on Christmas Eve. He eventually experienced chills, later came down with muscle aches and fatigue. The day after Christmas, the nurse went to testing site and tested positive for COVID-19. It is not unexpected at all if you work through the numbers. This is exactly what we've expected to happen if someone was exposed. Dr. Christian Rammers, an infectious disease specialist with Family Health Centers of San Diego, said. Rammers explained how it is quite possible that Matthews contracted COVID-19 before receiving the shot. He added that it takes about 2 weeks for the first dose of the vaccine to kick in. I'm going to slow that down and I'm going to say it again. It's not unexpected at all. If you work through the numbers, this is exactly what we'd expect to happen if someone was exposed. Dr. Christian Rammers, an infectious disease specialist with Family Health Centers of San Diego, said. Rammers explained how it is quite possible that Matthew contracted COVID-19 before receiving the shot. He added that it takes about 2 weeks for the first dose of the vaccine to kick in. We know from the vaccine clinical trials that it's going to take about 10 to 14 days for you to start to develop protection from vaccine, Raymer said. That first dose, we think, gives you somewhere around 50%. They're talking about efficacy, and you need that second dose to get up to 95%. All right, Dr. Raymer said that people should still follow protocols such as hand washing and wearing face masks, even if they have received a vaccine. While Matthew tested positive, Raymer said how he knows of several other local cases where healthcare workers became infected around the same time they received a vaccine. All right, so here go your issue right here. ER nurse tests positive for COVID a week after getting the vaccine. People are under the assumption or the impression that after you receive the vaccine, you should not become infected. And they don't know about the efficacy rate and how long it takes you to get such and such. So, in the description of the video on Facebook and on YouTube, I have both the Moderna and the Pfizer reports for anyone that's unfamiliar with anything about the testing. Like you just, you ain't kidding about none of that. You weren't paying attention to this data when it came out weeks ago. You just want to know what's going on with this nurse and how could he had contracted it. Now, if you read the full extent of that particular article, it may lead you to wonder, well, what good is the vaccine? Right? Okay, so the data that was just mentioned when we talked about 50% efficacy after dose 1, and then the full efficacy after dose 2. Both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine requires 2 shots. The second shot works in favor or boosts the second shot. And then after that period of about 10 to 14 days, after the second dosage, you're looking at developing the defense mechanism against SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. You're looking at the protection at that point. Okay? So I just wanted to show people that, yes, we have the data and I got you right here to the vaccine efficacy on this testing trial. On page 22 is where it begins, right? Now, I'm not going to bore y'all with all this data because it's crazy for some people who are really not interested in it and just want the facts. All right, so just to be clear, what you're looking at, this document is from Moderna. It's 54 pages, PDF, 54-page PDF. All right, see? It's going to be in the download. This one is a 92-page, and it's with Pfizer. And I take you straight down to the point, page 54. Final analysis of primary efficacy endpoints. Vaccine efficacy without prior evidence of SARS-CoV-2 infection 7 days after dose 2. Final analysis. So this gives us the efficacy after dose 1 and dose 2. I take it down there to the page where you can actually get it. If you downloaded the PDF. Now, you might not have no interest in this at all. Look, all confirmed cases of COVID-19 after dose 1. A number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 are not captured in the analysis of the first primary endpoint of the evaluable efficacy population because they occurred less than 7 days after dose 2, or because they occurred in participants who were excluded from the evaluable efficacy population who had evidence of infection before or during vaccination regime. So this is sticking to the data. Now, I hit y'all off with a more sample size, right? I dropped 2 articles in there that's a little bit more sample size. Not a lot of data, not suppression, not going to get on your memory and drive you crazy. So we deal with the primary endpoints. We're dealing with efficacy. Now, the reduction of incidence of COVID-19 disease among participants without evidence of SARS-CoV-2 infection before the first dose of the vaccine in a period of 14 days post dose 2. So this will give you the rundown of all of that, the safety and all of that. This is not something that is new to scientists and the scientific community and the vaccine makers, right? Because they know that there's an underlying issue between shots, between shot 1 and shot 2. They know that there's a 50 to 60, really a 60% efficacy rate after shot 1. And the primary sources, the full data reports show that after shot 1, and then that 94 and 95% that y'all been hearing about as far as the efficacy rate after dose 2 increases. And it tells you that it increases after dose 2. Okay? And then you can go ahead and deal with the efficacy protocol and get a little bit more statistical about how many people was in the trials and all of that. This is more of a sample size. This is not all the data. And this is directly from Moderna. Okay? It's not all the data that now it's got access to all the data, and there's a fact sheet. So you can get with it like that. Also, the BJM. I give you the sample size. You go straight to it, and it gives you what you're looking for. The study published in New England Journal of Medicine, which is the source, found that the vaccine efficacy between the first and second doses was 52%. 95% credible interval 29.5 to 68.4%, with 39 cases of COVID-19 in the vaccine group of the 82 cases in the placebo group. So 39 people in the vaccine group actually ended up with COVID-19 between shots. 82 in the placebo group was infected with COVID-19 because they're in the placebo group. They did not receive the actual vaccine. 7 or more days after the second dose, vaccine efficacy then rose to 95%. Now, with 8 COVID-19 cases reported in the vaccine group and 162 cases in the placebo group. So as the data moves along, we know that more people was infected with COVID-19 in the placebo group. You even had people died during the trials. The people that died during the trials received the placebo. You had one on each side. And then you had other people that died during the trials from natural causes. None had to deal with the actual vaccine. And all of the data will show that. So when I say science is producing things for us every day, they're telling us this stuff every day. You know, my best friend was like, man, is this even gonna work? This thing ain't even working. It's supposed to be working. You have to understand that it's between shots. And if we get the full context of the article, you can then understand, because it actually explains it, that this was an issue that occurred between shots, potentially with this nurse, before the actual vaccine was administered. Now, when the nurse get the second shot, the nurse is going to have a boost in that immunity. is the body's going to help build and do the things that it needs to do to defend. And we know that based on the data, because this work had already been done. This is not something that this is not information that they did not have before they start vaccinating people. This is data that they uncovered during the phase 1, 2, and 3 trials. This is data that was months ago, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So they already had this information. Now, I just wanted to come drop in on y'all real quick with that information, man, because this article is circulating and people are not going to read it. They are bait. You know what I'm saying? This right here is all that matter. This right here is all that matter. Right? So it's clickbait. They're gonna be like, they ain't even gonna click on it. They just gonna share it and be like, see, the vaccine ain't working. Yes, it's working. Did you read the article? You know what I'm saying? Did you get all the information out of it? And then, I layered it with a couple of sources, 4 of them. The primaries, which is what the FDA got, the full briefing primary documents from Moderna and Pfizer. And then I gave you the sample size from Moderna's website and the BMJ. Credible sources across the board to go with that article. So hopefully we got some clarity on that. And maybe our people can fully, understand what's going on with that. I don't want to prolong the video or anything like that. I want to keep it bite-sized so that we can actually share this and we can get this information out. Because right now, I've seen this article turn up a couple of times. People sharing it to Facebook groups, people sharing it in people's inboxes, people asking questions about how they get infected if they got the vaccine, things of that nature. So we want to make sure that we we understand fully what the article is saying. And then we want to make sure that we have the viable resources to strengthen the position based on evidence, not assumptions, speculations, or, hearsay. We want to deal with this from a scientific perspective, and we want to make sure that we have credible sources that can substantiate why this happened. All right, so it looks like, I kind of saved some people some time. Lowski, I see you, Chef. I see you, Chavis Beck. I see you, Juju, in the building. Thurman was good. These are people on the YouTube side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop us right there in the Facebook world, and on the YouTube side, if don't nobody have no questions, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, because you never know what might pop up from our brothers and sisters everywhere. Please like the show, share the show. We can get this out. We got it documented on Facebook. We got it documented on YouTube. I wasn't gonna be too long. I literally was gonna be about 20 minutes. That's why I didn't want to give all of the context of the articles. I just wanted to hit the little bullet points that I had in my head to kind of just go ahead and deal with the article. Cool, Chef. Cool. Yeah, because I know, when we on the pseudo killers, we got to be specific. But I wanted to just bite size it and make sure that, we did that for Facebook. And then for anybody with any more questions and stuff, we can just deal with the evidence because we got all the sources. So on that note, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I'm gonna say Shimon Hotep, depart in peace. I've been on this thing rocking literally 3 hours. All signs. I really wasn't rocking my whole self. I had a couple of lectures to play inside of that, but it was interactive. And hopefully we all learning from this, man, because ultimately we are part of, the small minority in what we call the so-called conscious community that deal with trying to correct misinformation and make sure our people are fully educated. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for the support. Yeah, we're gonna keep it bite-sized, and I'm gonna end it like that. Yep. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.